Hello, guys. Share the live, guys. Share the live. Welcome back to the I podcast. Today episode is gonna be very, very interesting, guys. Share the live is gonna be very, very interesting. As you guys know, my name is Dr. G. Welcome back to the I podcast. And then on my right, we have Mr. Pat, as usual, as my co-host.
Hey
How's it going?
guys, welcome. As you guys know, I'm always here most of the time. So, yeah, we have a great show for you guys today, and let's get it.
Yes, guys, as you guys heard, we have a good show for you guys. Shut the live. Let's get into it, guys. And on my left, I have Miss B, as usual. Miss B, how's it going?
Hey guys, happy Sunday. Welcome. And I'm happy to be here.
There you go. We are happy with you guys. We're going to have a good show. Shut the live, guys. Let me introduce the topic, guys, while we're sharing the live. Today's episode, the topic goes by, is it selfish to not want kids? Or to want kids but cannot take care of them? Let me say it again, guys. The topic for today goes by, is it selfish for you to not want kids, or to want kids but cannot take care of them? So we're gonna start like that while you guys sharing the live. We're gonna start with Mr. Pat. Mr. Pat. Mr. Pat, how's it going?
How's it going, brother? How was your week, bro?
My weekend was busy as usual, but and how about yours? How was yours?
Man, same here, man. With work, we're busy. But as you already know, once you're busy, that means you're doing something serious.
There you go. I like that. I
You know
love
what
it.
I
I
mean?
love
So can't be too mad about it.
it. Got it. Before you answer the question, let me ask Miss B. I forgot to ask Miss B. How was your weekend, Miss B?
My weekend was great. I'm a little under the weather today, but it was good.
It was good, guys. You see that, guys? Even though she's under the weather, she just came for you guys. especially
She is
for you guys.
here. All her fans are here to support her, and this is awesome.
There you go. We're gonna have a great show, guys. Mr. Pat, is it selfish to not want kids or to want kids but cannot take care of them? So, what do you think? Let's talk to the family. Let's get it.
Is it selfish? No, I don't think it's selfish. It depends of everybody have their own way of seeing having kids. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like people have different reason why they choose not to have kids to a certain particular time, or choose not to have kids at all. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's selfish. It's most likely, everyone have different value and different way of, and especially everyone have different views of seeing family and raising a family. You know what I'm saying? So other people have financial, reason why they don't want to have kids. Other people is mostly because mentally they don't think they're ready for that. But on the flip side, I'd say if God bless you, brother, just take it. And you will learn along the way. Don't be too afraid to actually, bring a kid to this world. I know it's not easy, but once you have it, you will know how to deal with it. And then if you feel like it's too much, like get help. People out there like to help you out. How to become a great father, a great mom, and yeah. So that's my answer.
That's good. Interesting. I like that. Miss B. What do you think, Miss B? Is it selfish to not want kids or to want kids but cannot take care of them financially, mentally, however you can see it? What do you think?
Yes, it is selfish.
Also,
I look at selfish as when someone doing something for themselves.
okay.
Like, no matter what people think. And I think when people choose to have kids, they're not thinking whether or not society is okay with it. And when people choose to not have kids, they're not thinking whether or not society is okay with it. But I'm saying it's selfish, and it's okay to be selfish, because in this world right now, you have to be selfish. You have to be selfish with your time. You have to be selfish with your lives and your journey, because at the end of the day, it is all about you. So you have to make the best decision for you.
So don't you think kids is gonna be a good thing for you at the end of the day? So, but first of all, you said it's okay to be selfish. Selfish to who? To yourself or to the society or to your family? Or selfish to who?
I'm saying it's okay to be selfish about your decisions. Sometimes.
Got it. But you know, kids is not it's not a low, it's not a small decision. You know that, right?
Exactly. So that's why you don't want society to pressure you into doing something that you don't want to do, or you're not ready for it, or you're not financially capable of taking care of.
But at the end of the day, it's gonna be good for you if you have a kid, don't you think?
Maybe, maybe not. Because we all think that kids always bring joys. Honestly, I love kids and I'm not, going that way. My thing is, if that person is telling you that I don't want to have kids, everyone have their own reason as to why they don't want to have kids. And sometime going through everything that you have to go through when you have kids, it's not an easy process. So I'm not saying that you're not going to be happy, but it's not the only way. And I think what I want everyone to understand that, yes, motherhood is a beautiful thing. You find happiness, you find fulfillment, but it's not the only way. And it should be okay for people to decide and said, I don't want to have I don't want to take that journey. I want to do a different way.
But don't you think sometimes it's not like having kids, most of the time it's not something that's planned. It just happened because I don't think God sent us here to actually plan, although that we can do that, but I don't think he sent us here to plan of when should we have kids or not.
If you're having sex, it's planned. That's all I'm gonna say.
So wait. What are you trying to say? So
that's all I'm saying, because it's a risk. The reality is, if you have sex, there's a percentage that you're going to have kids. If you don't have sex, it's a guarantee that you're not going to have kids. So if you're having sex, it's planned. But now, whether or not it's like at the exact time that you would like it, the time frame that you would want it to be,
But there's other ways, like you can have sex and still not plan on having kids. There's birth control. There's like condoms.
It's still a possibility of. I mean, kids. If the kid's gonna come, it's gonna come. I've had people who literally tie their tubes and still have kids.
Right.
Women. I don't know much about men, but women.
So what's your advice for someone that wanna be selfish and don't wanna have kids? So not to have sex?
No.
I agree with Miss B. If you having sex, you should expect with kid. Especially you're not a kid no more. So if you're having sex, having kids, you get it via sex, right?
Right.
So if you're having sex, you expect to have kids whenever God decided for you to have it.
Okay, when we drive, are we expecting to have a car accident?
That's not the same thing.
What do you mean?
That's not
we drive all the time. We're going to work, we drive, and there's a 50-50 chance that you can get in a car accident. But are you planning to have a car accident?
Nah.
Are you planning to get in a car accident?
Listen, a kid is a blessing from God. An accident is not a blessing from God. So if you don't want no kids, don't have no sex. That's what I'm saying. Like the same thing for car accident. So if you're scared of having a car accident, so don't have a car, don't drive.
Let me answer that for you, Patrick. When you're driving, you should understand that there is that outcome.
Right.
And you should be ready to take that. It's okay if I get into an accident because that's the right I want to take. Because no matter what you do in life, for every action, there's a reaction. So whatever choices you're making, knowing that there's that possibility of not getting exactly what you want, and it could go the other way. It could go left. It's not always going to go right. And you have to take that responsibility and make that choice on your own that it's okay. So if you don't want to have kids, you decide to have sex, then you should be prepared if you do have kids to take that responsibility, because that's the choice you're making, because it's not always going to be like, I don't want to have kids, but I'm going to have sex. So, universe, make it happen.
So are you telling me I'm pretty sure we're all grown adult here. So whenever we have sex, so we should have in the back of a mind that a kid might pop up, and that means we're ready to have it.
Not
Although
exactly.
if we're ready or not. So because we're having sex does not always mean like it's ready. You're ready for a kid.
Not exactly. And since we're talking about sex, women will have sex during their ovulating. I mean, sorry, would produce the eggs during their ovulating period. So if you know you don't want to have kids and you're ovulating, my advice is don't have sex.
The woman body is very interesting, brother. So what I'm saying is sometimes you think women might think they're not ovulating, and next thing you know,
Well, there's that too.
Next
There's that
thing
too.
you know,
But there's
it's-
many apps. There's many way you could track it down. It's not going to be 100%, but you
Right.
can somewhat have a window. And honestly, you do feel different. You feel different mentally. Like, you do feel different. You see how you react to things. Everything changes. Not as, not a big difference as when you were in your period, but you do feel a difference in your body when you are
So
ovulating.
let's get back to the topic. So Miss B said it's okay for you to be selfish, right?
Yeah, I'm saying like it is selfish, and sometimes that's fine. That's okay to be selfish.
But at the end of the day, so when you get older, who's gonna take care of you? So okay, it's okay for you not to want kids, right? But as you said earlier, every action there's a reaction. So when you get
Correct.
older, don't expect people to take care of you because you chose not to have kids, right?
Let me ask you this: do you have kids so they could take care of you when you get older?
That's possibly yeah.
Then don't you think that's selfish?
That's not selfish.
why is it selfish?
Yeah,
If
why
you
is
want
it-
to bring your kids like to this world, and then one of your reason is to make sure that kids could take care of you, so that way no one else does, that is taking away, because that kid, you don't know their dreams. You don't know how they're going to impact this world negatively or positively. And as a matter of fact, thinking that they're going to get older and it's very naive to think that they're going to grow old with you to be able to take care of you. They may not be alive. One, they may be in prison. They may be halfway across the world. They could be anywhere. So honestly, having that dream is like it's a total fail. It's
No,
a total fail from the
that's
beginning.
it, that's it.
So, and I don't think it's fair of the kids for you to have them just so they could take care of you.
Miss B,
Miss B, these are exceptions, Miss B. They can die early. That's possible. But most people, when you have kids, you basically for your own happiness. That's one. And then when you get older, that they can pay somebody or them taking care of you. That's one of the reasons most people have kids. So most
If
female
you-
nowadays they say I don't want no kids because they're trying to enjoy life, right? But when they get older, so they expect somebody to take care of them. Is that true? Or when you get older,
No.
Miss B, let me ask you this. So your mother's still alive, right?
My mother is still very much alive.
Do you love her?
I very much I do.
So, knock the wood. If she ended up being sick and she needs somebody taking care of her, would you or would you not?
There are so many options. So
No.
if I can't take care of
Answer the
her,
question, Miss B. She needs somebody taking care of her, and you happen to be the person that have to taking care of her. Would you? Would you not?
no, I don't have to take care of her. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, so
If my mom's sick, right? If my mom's sick, there are options where I could hire somebody to take care of her and still continue with my life.
it's
what I
not
just
the
said.
same love. Well,
It
at
don't
the end
matter.
of the day, it's. I mean, yes, you can do that, but
But
Well,
then again,
so-
hold up. Then
but
again,
what
so
I want-
imagine you were not there to pay somebody to take care of her. So what do you think that was gonna happen to her?
What do you mean I was not there to
Okay,
take
you
care
say
of
you
her?
can still pay somebody else to take care of her, then
Right.
continue with your life, right?
Right.
That's you paying somebody because she's your mom. That's why you're paying somebody to
Do
take
you-
care of
do
her.
you
If she
think-
needs me to take care
Miss
of her,
Miss B, do you think your mother will actually have the same friend of thought that you're having right now if God forbid something happened to you and she has to take care of you? Do you think she will be thinking about like hire somebody taking care of you? You her daughter and she loves you very much. And the love that you going to feel as of her taking care of you, it will be different than a stranger is taking care of you just because she want to pay for it. You would, what I want to say by this is a problem in today's society, brother. So I feel like people are disconnected with the traditional way of the old used to do things, and the reason why we're here today is because of the traditional way, is because of the way love used to be, the way family structure used to be. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
So
disagree
like,
with you.
so what I'm saying, and Miss B, it's not against you. I've heard a lot of young generation talking like that. Is they so disconnected to the love that sharing into family. When I say family, but I'm saying mom and dad. Like the deep connection is not there, because they whether say like, you know what, since we're talking about being selfish, I feel like all young generation, or I would say I think the all young generation is losing the traditional way of taking care of their not only family and people that are around them. So for you to say that, it actually cleared my mind, saying like, maybe it's our generation that is like that. Like, I will definitely taking care of my mom if I have to, but I'm not gonna bypass the process of like, hey, life gets well. Like, if I have to hire somebody taking care of it for a certain period of time, but I would wanna be there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
like,
that's
no
okay.
questions asked.
That's okay. So you're making that decision based
Right.
on how you feel, based on how you want to live your life, correct? And if you haven't had that conversation and your parents are still alive, this is something you want to have, because this is something this is a conversation I always discuss. What happened if things go south, whether it's my turn, whether it's her turn, whether it's my brother's turn. We are a family of 4 and we are very close to one another. My thing is, whether or not you are hiring somebody to pay to take care of your parents, to take care of your siblings, or you are there personally, the main thing is that you are taking care of them. Now, I'm not telling you to isolate and stay forever away forever. There are ways you could still build that bond with your parents. It may not be you 24/7, but when you come from work, you still have your mom or your parents inside the house. You still get to have dinner with them. You still get to bond. You still have to do certain thing with them. And if they're in a hospital or they're in a nursing home, there are different various things. But either options that you decide to take, it's not a generational thing. It's whether or not you have the bandwidth to do everything you want to do. As a matter of fact, you have to learn to delegate.
Miss B, it's because it's your mom. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's because it's your mom or your brother. That's why you're doing that. That's why you pay somebody to take care of them. Imagine you said you don't want. It's okay for you to be selfish. Don't want no kids, right? To not want kids.
Yeah.
So imagine you don't have no kids. You're 65. You're 70, and you have nobody to take care of you. So how would you leave?
Then I end up
They're
in a
just gonna-
nursing home.
Nursing home, exactly. How would you be? How would you expect to be treated?
Miss B,
Look,
go ahead.
honestly though, I think you guys are like clouding this scenario right here. Yes, you don't always get the best care in nursing home.
Okay.
And then yes, you probably shouldn't put your whole future on a nursing home basis. And this is why you do what you have to do during the time that you have the strength and you have the energy to make sure that you don't end up there.
Okay.
But there's still a possibility that you could, and that's okay too. But my whole thing is that you cannot, and if your reason is to have kid is so they could take care of you, honestly, just
That's
don't
one
have
of-
kids.
That's one of the reasons.
That's
Miss B.
that's my
not,
thing.
Not only
But
for that, but for your own happiness.
do you understand when you don't have kids that your time? So the whole thing about whatever time you're not spending doing this, you're spending doing something. When you don't have kids, taking the choice not to have kids, there are so many times you have in your hand and so many ways you could decide to spend it, and there's so many benefits. And I'm not pushing people
Such
to
as-
not
give me
have
one-
kids.
Give me one benefit.
Benefits, personal freedom,
Okay.
because taking care of kids is a lot. Whether you have 1 or 10, it's a lot. Financial security. Again, they are costly. Even pets are costly these days. But
Well, I'm glad you say pets, but go ahead. I have something to say after that. Good.
So, I mean, they still count as babies, believe it or not. They call them fur babies, so they still count as kids. So, if you decide to have pets, that's also another thing. So, financial stability, time, and energy. When you have kids, you are constantly, it's a mindset that you constantly have to work on yourself to be that person's guardian, to be the best version of yourselves, so you could help them grow, nurture them. Like, there are so many things that come with the kids. So if that person doesn't want to take that responsibility, it should be okay.
And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with having somebody that you have to cater to? And
there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying,
but
choices that you make, whether or not you're making the choice to have kids because you love kids, that's okay. But if someone else is making the other choice not to have kids because they don't want kids, that should be okay too.
I know.
But what I don't like is when society put pressure on them, making them feel like motherhood is the only way to go as a woman. That does not define our feminism. That does not define us as a woman at all. And it's not the only way to happiness. It's not the only way to fulfillment. So when someone push motherhood, putting a time on us, telling us how we should live,
have a time, Ms. B. Don't say that.
It irks me.
You have a time. You have a time. Everything you're saying makes sense, but do not go as of put a time. You do have a time.
Yeah, let her finish. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is that I don't appreciate when people put pressure on you to do something that they want you to do simply because it just benefits their own sense of comfort, not yours.
I don't think anybody should put pressure on a woman to actually have a child because you don't know what her body's going through and you don't know what she's going through mentally. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's also I'll call as a species to actually, do that if you want to do it. But if you want to do it, you don't want to do it because of selfishness, because of you thinking of, oh my God, I won't have time for myself. Oh my God, now I'm gonna have stop going out like every Friday. Oh my God, that I feel like it's so selfish to the point that you need to ask yourself, imagine if your mom and dad was having the same thought, you would not be here today to have that type of mentality that you're having right now.
I mean,
like if your mom and dad had decided not to have you, you will not be here and sitting here. Like, I'm not saying you guys, anybody would be here to actually have first off that mentality that you're having right now, or even be talking.
Do you know that?
There you go. And then I agree with you and Miss B, Mr. Pat. So I'm okay with that though. That's your choice. You choose to do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, don't expect society to take care of you, or don't expect somebody else to take care of you. You feel me?
Right.
Because if God give you the chance to have kids and you choose to not want kids because of your financial freedom, because you want to enjoy life, these kind of reasons don't make no sense to me, to be honest with you. Because kids are blessings, they're good gifts.
They are.
Because there are people out there paying like $1 million to have kids.
They're not saying they're not. So no one is saying kids are not a blessing. But
if you have a choice to have kids and then you choose not to have kids because of the reason that you gave me, Miss B.
Why do you think you have kids? You have kids for your own selfish reasons. So why can't they not have kids for their own selfish reasons?
Listen, Miss B. Society pressure you to have kids. As a matter of fact, it's a good thing for you. Because study shows that when a mother have a kid, that's when she realizes the real or recognize the real love and conditional love.
Yeah,
that's what they say. But if you choose to not want kids because you want to enjoy life, you want to go to a party, for me, I think that's selfish. And then at the end of the day, whatever the consequences you gotta get at when you're 65, 70, don't expect me to cross the street with you.
Regrets, brother. It calls regrets.
Because it's a beautiful thing to have a big family with you.
It is.
Because of you see, that's my daughter, that's my grandkids. And then you choose not to. You capable of doing that, and then you choose not to do it.
Here it is.
And then you choose not to do it.
See exactly what you're doing right now? That is what's called pressure, and that is what you're doing.
I don't
right
think
now.
it's pressure.
It's not pressure. I told you, you can't choose to do whatever you want at the end of the day. But don't expect people to do certain things for you in return. That's what I'm saying.
They're not expecting anyone to do
No,
anything
most
for
people
them.
like, okay,
Let
if
me
you're
tell you
65, Miss B, you crossing the street, you can barely cross the street. You're gonna expect somebody to take your hands and cross the street with you. Is that true?
Let me tell you
No,
this.
answer my question. Is
And
that
somebody kids will have
Whether
to do
or
that.
not,
Exactly.
whether
Somebody-
or not
there
you
you
have
go.
kids,
Right.
whether or not you have kids, you will need some help. Your kids is not gonna go around with you 24/7 because you want to cross the street. You will be
They're gonna put you
65.
somewhere to
Your
be
kids
safe.
could be anywhere around the world, and you're gonna be walking, and you're going to expect what goes
No,
around
at
come
least
back
you're gonna
around.
have somebody that thinking
what
of you.
makes
Pay somebody to cross the street with you. Pay somebody to stay with you. Pay somebody to go get the grocery for you.
and
But
then
when you don't have
that
kids,
person who doesn't have kids can't do that for themselves.
how
As
they
a matter
gonna
of
do
fact,
it? How
that
they gonna do
person-
it, Miss B?
How can they not? They work through through their whole life. That whole money that they save, that they invest, that they become whoever they are. You just assume not having kids, you're gonna end up poor in a nursing home, and that is absolute not true. You are painting a picture that if you decide to not have kids, you're gonna end up in the street, crossing the street, expecting help from people who did have kids, and it's wrong of them to do so. And that is not the case
Miss
at
B,
all.
Miss B, I'm
And
glad you said
honestly,
money. Money cannot do everything. Because kids, as I
but
said,
yet
there's a
you
bond.
just said that if they have kids, the kid's gonna pay somebody to do that.
Oh,
As a
do
matter
it
of fact,
themselves.
money is in the center of everything here.
Okay, you say if they have money, they can pay somebody to do it for themselves, right? Do you know when your own blood doing something for you and paying somebody else to do it for you is two different things, right? It's not the same feeling. So this is a beautiful thing too for a son to taking care
We
of a
all
mother
make
or
our
a father.
choices, and
I
every
agree, Miss B.
and
As
that's
I
okay.
told you,
So
I don't mind. But the reason
whatever
you choose
you-
to do it, don't expect people to do certain things for you in return. That's what I'm saying.
And it's the
You
same
can
way
choose to
when
do
you
certain
have
things.
kids. If you decide to have kids, then you shouldn't expect the same thing either.
No,
What goes? Look,
because it's natural, Miss B. Come on, if you as you
Wow.
said, no, Miss B, as
Wow.
you said,
And look at- listen to yourself,
Miss B,
Jay.
listen, Mr. Pat asked you great question. He asked you if you love your mother. You said yes, because it's a natural thing to love your mother. I love my mother. Mr. Pat love his mother, so is it natural like to see you? Nobody would like to see the mother suffering.
How would you feel if your mother not loving you? Do you know a lot of people get trauma because they miss family bond? They didn't have family bond. They didn't have the family love that's floating. They didn't have that, and then they have trauma to along
having a
their
mother,
life.
having
So-
parents doesn't always come
what
with
I'm
love.
what I'm trying to say is, I don't think there's anything wrong with that if you are a parent and you have some expectation from your kids. I do not think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, whoever has that personality, it's fine. I don't think like you bring a kid here in order for them to take care of you, but the feeling you're gonna have when you have kids, you will feel accomplished. Now, am I saying if you do not have kids, you don't feel accomplished? No, I'm not saying that. But you will never understand that feeling until you become a parent.
I agree.
It's not like you are looking for anything from your kids. You leaving your DNA behind. This is our purpose. A lot of people are leaving with their selfishness, expectation as of like me. It is not about you. It is not about you. We have a role. We have a task to follow through. Like, look around you.
Do
The
we?
animals, look around you. They're all following their purpose. They're all, completing their task that God created them to do. Like we are animals too with consciousness. I mean, animals are conscious too, but like with consciousness as of like creating and stuff like that. So we all have a role here. God did not send us here to just like say like, you know what, I'm just want to work on myself. I think kids gonna take too much to have kids, this and the third. I mean, if it's your personal, way of doing things, it's fine. I don't think anybody should be judging you for that. But I don't think at the same time you feel like you've been pressured to have kids, you should also think it is not a pressure to tell people, well, be selfish, worry about you, girl, or worry about you, bro, stuff like that. Because there's a deeper meaning to it. There's you really will discover yourself, really who you are after you become a parent. With me saying that, I'm not talking about like bad parents. There are bad parents out there. Like, you will really discover you when you become a parent.
Then again, I totally agree with Miss B. It's okay to be selfish.
It's okay.
Okay to do your own thing.
Yeah.
But when you don't have nothing to live for, we don't have a kid,
You have nothing to live for.
You want to live by yourself?
What's pushing you every morning to wake up, like, you know, going to work and all that, just because so you can show off to people who don't give a flying fuck about you?
So
just to show the world, like, oh, yo, I got it like that.
So
you know
you're
what I mean?
assuming that people who doesn't have kids has nothing to wake up
a lot
for?
of people are working hard just to flex.
Well,
It's
not,
a
not
hard
flexing,
truth.
Not
It's
flex-
a
well,
hard
I'm not
truth.
going about that though.
Just to actually
my question to
be
you is
able
that
to just actually be able to travel, buy expensive cars, buy expensive clothes.
That's what they want?
Do all these
What's
things.
wrong with that?
That is selfish. This is not our only purpose on earth.
We were created to put.
let me ask you
This
this:
is not our only
you
purpose.
having
There's-
kids and decide to
like,
stay
I
at
have
home and
kids.
enjoy your
I
time. That is selfish.
But listen, I have kids. I do all those things.
So that
There's
is
ways you
selfish.
can-
But my thing is, my question to you is,
Mm-hmm.
so someone who doesn't have kids, you're just assuming that they don't have that kind of satisfaction, they don't have that kind of fulfillment?
I think they are most likely okay to actually work hard on other things that is
Important
for
to them?
That actually for society, but the deeper meaning that actually you leaving your DNA, you leaving part of you behind, they don't have that. They think it's too hard to do, but they're okay to
It's
do
not.
any
It's
other
not that they
things.
think that it's too hard to, but maybe they just don't want to. Do you know
You-
that
ev-
there's a
the same
there's
way you
a
say
big,
every
there's a
decision,
huge,
there is
there's-
a reason for every decision. So like if you decided not to have kids, you have a reason why. You don't just decide I don't have kids. You have a reason why. And the reason, it could be personal to you. And I'm not bypassing people who cannot have kids. If you cannot have kids, it's fine. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's fine. But I'm saying if you can, why would you decide to pick yourself only and not having that plan one day you can build a
simply
family?
because they don't want to have kids.
But you here because there's a family. There were a man and a woman that got together and bring
what does
your
that
ass
gotta
here.
do? What does that got to do with me not making the decision not to have kids? What does that have to do with my parent deciding that they wanted to have kids and bring me to this world, and me deciding not to bring someone else?
You know
to this
what
world?
you know by you saying that, because I've seen a couple of videos online where people say like, well, some kids, well, I didn't actually bring me here. Like some entitled motherfuckers. I'm sorry for my language. I didn't ask you to bring me here, so you gotta give me what I asked you.
I don't know, but
you
that's a
understand?
whole different topic.
That's a
But
whole.
anyway.
Well, I know it's a whole different topic. That's also entitlement and selfishness, because you only worry about yourself, and you also pressuring the person that actually give you that chance to actually experience your what it means to be flesh and also soul. That person that give you that experience, you have the nerve to disrespect that person, saying that I didn't ask you to bring me here.
Well, that's a whole another thing. You're disrespecting your parents. That's a whole different story here.
Right.
But you're making that decision, telling people, like saying that you don't want to have kids. I don't see how you saying the same thing. You want to have kids because you want to experience that joy, because you believe that having kids going to bring you that whole motherhood that's going to tap into that self-awareness, that whatever that you think that you're going to discover, you decided that's kids going to bring that to you, and someone else deciding that kids will not. I don't see what's wrong with that picture at all. And I'm not saying not to have kids. I am just saying do not shame someone who doesn't want to have kids for whatever their reason is, even if it's a selfish one, and that should be okay.
I don't think
Nobody.
we,
Listen. We're not
shaming
we're not shaming
anybody.
nobody.
I mean,
if you don't want to have no kids, that's you. That's your business. But what I'm saying, like, don't expect certain things when you get older. That's what I'm saying. You can't choose to do whatever you want. But as you said earlier,
there's a price for every decision that
there you go.
For every decision that you make in life,
it.
there's a price for. You might not see.
And we might as well say it for someone who decided to have kids.
No, for
There
those
is
who
a
don't-
very much big price for someone who do have kids. As much they are sacrificing, you sacrifice your life, whatever that you're sacrificing to be a mother, and someone else sacrifice their life, whatever that they sacrifice to not be a mother. At the end of the day, we are making a choice, and we are choosing whatever that makes us happy.
Okay,
Or
good
whatever
for you.
that is going to bring that happiness, that fulfillment, whatever your reason is, you make that choice. At the end of the day, there's going to be consequences, and they are prepared to accept it.
You think-
And then
Are you
someone
sure?
else who make the decided to have kids, there's consequences, they accept it. Believe me, there are a lot of people who have kids who has no means whatsoever of how to take care of these kids.
I
But
agree.
here we are as a community,
are
despite
exceptions.
their effort, well, whatever expression, you could call it exception if you want. But at the end of the day, they bring life to the world, whether or not we're single or motherhood. We come together to make sure that this kid doesn't suffer. This world is not, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. This world has its beauty, and I admire every piece of it. But it also comes with its own pain,
Yeah.
with its
That's life.
own sorrow, and it leaves that stain, heartache in you.
And that's what makes
And
you.
when someone decided that this world is not worthy enough of their own kids, we don't get to tell them that they shouldn't have that.
I don't think
shouldn't
we're
make that
saying
decision.
that. I don't think we're saying
So-
they shouldn't. We explain the value of having it, and if you decided not to have it, it's fine.
It's okay.
Then
And also, like, if you also have an issue not to have it, it's also fine. I don't think you should be thinking like if you're a woman, like motherhood is the only way to go. It is not the only way to go. But also we also explain the value of being a mother, or the
And I'm
value
also
of
explaining
being
the
a father.
value of not being a mother or not being a father.
Yeah, but like some people just like have the, even they don't have any issues not to have it, they just don't want to because their own personal selfishness. And this is why we're saying, yes, it is selfish to have those, to actually have these thoughts. So those selfish reasons, they're hurtful. They're hurtful to hear, because if you actually think about like your parents bring you here, like they brought you here.
That was
They
their
didn't have-
choice.
I know that was their choice, but you here.
Should be grateful.
It's like
It's not that they're
you
not
thirsty.
grateful.
It's like you thirsty, and I'm like, oh, you thirsty? Here's a bottle of water, and then you drank it, and then you're like, and then now I'm thirsty. I was like, well, now you have two. Can I have one? Well,
That is absolutely not the same thing.
you're like, well,
Because honestly, there is no pain. There is nothing that could come. It doesn't take anything from me passing you to a water bottle and you passing me another water bottle. But there's everything that could go wrong, including losing your life having kids. So don't
I
compare
agree.
the two.
you
It's
said-
not in the same category. Don't compare the two.
in a way, yeah, because it's like I said, if it's not your call to do it, it's fine. But if you have the ability to do so, I don't see why should you use selfishness reason not to, because the prize is it's awesome. The outcome you're gonna get out of it, it's pretty awesome. It literally gonna actually give you more reason to leave, especially this world, bro. It's a crazy one. And I can definitely understand why somebody will not want to bring any kids, because it is crazy. It's hard. It's crazy to raise kids. But at the same time, it is not hard or crazy because it's God call. It is God purpose.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that it's a blessing for you to have kids if you're ready or prepare for it.
Right.
But when you're capable of having kids and then you choose not to have kids because of your vacation or your freedom now, so be ready for the next 30 years. Whatever is coming for you. You get what I'm saying?
When you feel like, oh, I'm tired of taking vacation. I'm
And
tired
all
of
I'm saying
this
is
and
that you
There's gonna
should
be
be
a
doing
time-
the same thing,
No, Miss B,
making the
Miss B,
choice
listen.
to have
There's
kids. You
gonna be a
acting
time-
like this
No,
is
listen.
not the same
It's
option
not
for
the
when you
same.
have
It's not-
kids.
it's not-
It
it's
is
not-
exactly the same.
not the
As
same.
a matter
It's
of
not
fact,
that
you
hard.
might even encounter
Miss B,
more
it's not the
hurdles
same.
having kids than the other way, as a matter of fact.
So you go to the party, go taking your vacation.
It's not
now,
always about
and then when
that.
you're
It's not
35,
always about that.
women have a time clock, right? Is that what they said? After 35 or 40, you cannot have no kids no more, right?
If the choice was to not have kids, then it doesn't matter. The
Okay,
clock
I
doesn't exist for them
Miss
because
B, okay, I totally
they don't
agree.
want to have kids.
Listen, It's a beautiful thing to have a family. If you choose not to have a family,
It is
kudos to
absolutely
you.
a
It's
beautiful
okay.
thing. Yes.
It's okay. But as I'm saying, like, and when you have nothing to live for, when you're 65, you're in a house by yourself.
Again, you're assuming that
I'm not
someone not
assuming-
having kids doesn't have anything to live for.
Maybe.
As a matter of fact, someone not having kids, choosing themselves, that is who they're living for.
Choosing yourself at 65.
What's wrong with
After
that?
65, what you
What's
gonna
wrong
do?
with that?
You have nothing
What's
to live
wrong?
for, and then you.
What's wrong
There's
with that?
nothing
Are you
wrong with
saying
it.
that if you're 65, you can't keep choosing yourself?
Choose
That
yourself.
you got nothing to live for because you're
To what
65
ends,
years
Miss B?
old?
To what ends?
To whatever end it
No,
means.
to
What do
ends?
you mean?
Give me one reason.
To whatever, whatever,
Miss
like
B,
happiness doesn't stop at 65.
Happiness doesn't stop. At
Why do you
65,
die
Miss
at
B.
65? Why
Miss
you
B.
stop caring about yourself after 65?
There's certain things you don't have the same energy. That's what I'm saying, Miss B. You
You
30
stop
now,
it.
65.
So you don't have enough energy to love yourself?
No,
But you
you're not
have
gonna
enough
be the same.
energy. You have enough energy to love a partner
No,
in kids,
now
in,
kids
in
got-
their
no, it's not
grandkids.
listen, Miss B. When you're 65, you don't have the same energy to do the things that you used to do at 30 or 35. But when you have kids, they bring that love to you, that energy. They amplify you with loves. Whatever you left behind.
And I'm saying that it's not the only way to be
it is the-
amplified.
How?
It is absolutely not the
Miss
only
B,
way.
All I'm saying, at 65, after you enjoy your life, as you said, you went to vacation, you did everything. What else you have to?
You know
I
what though?
think-
I
I
can't
think-
argue when you put an end to your life at 65. So if this is
Ah,
where
Miss
you
B,
see
Miss
that
B, okay,
your
Miss
life
B, listen,
ends,
listen, Miss
where
B,
your
don't have no-
energy,
Miss B,
where your
listen,
energy,
don't have no kids. Wait until you're 65, or should advise your friends to not have kids.
my thing is,
even though
I
they're
am
capable of doing-
advising people to make their own choice, whatever it means, having kids or not. And I am telling
even though you know
them,
the choice is not good, is not gonna be good for them. You're gonna advise them to do their own.
how do
make
you
their
know
own-
that the choice is not good for them?
'Cause it's
How do
not-
you know
at
having kids
60
is always good for them?
Miss B.
You
I
making
gave
that decision for them. And honestly,
I'm
like,
not making no decision for them, Miss B. I told you since the beginning. It's okay. You can choose to do
You know-
whatever you. Let me finish. You can choose to do whatever you want to do. But as you said earlier, there's for every action there's a reaction. For every action there's a consequence. Get ready for it. That's what I'm saying. You can't
either
choose
way,
to have
whether
kids.
you have
cannot
kids or
choose to
not have kids,
That-
you're
I
going to
totally
have
agree with
consequence
that.
to that option.
But the
my
consequence
problem,
there are two different consequences. So whichever you choose, that's you.
I
You
think
choose
I
what you
think
choose.
what G is trying to say is the overall feeling that you're going to have when you're 65, 70, and either a woman or a man, when you're that age and you sit in a room full of people that came
barely
from
move.
you.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. As of like, this joy is unbearable. Like, this is a joy that no one on earth will be able to understand but you. The reason why I say that is because not too long ago, my family had a get together for my grandpa and grandma. Like, they have 8 kids. 7 kids together, and my grandpa had another kid, outside kid, make it 8. And all the great children, like great children, was there, and they surprised them with that party. Like, I think my grandpa is like, I think he's like 70, 77, and my grandma is like 72. Dude, like, they cry, dude.
It's a beautiful feeling.
They cry with joy.
Exactly.
Because that's a beautiful, like, the
and here's
room.
my thing.
The room was full of the people that they brought here. And at that age, bro, you ready to go. You like, you know what, God, my job is done.
Yeah.
And here's my
Although
thing.
that you gone, but your trait stayed behind. Like, your DNA stayed behind to actually keep helping this world to evolve. This is the feeling that a lot of people fail to understand because of the selfishness reason.
And this
Now,
is the feeling that somebody else may say the
And-
exact opposite of how
and
you
I'm
feel.
not- and I'm not saying
Someone
there's anything
may
wrong with it.
actually look at that and not feel what you feel, and that should be okay. That they don't want that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. But the reason why I'm saying that is because if you wanted to have it and you're hesitating and you're letting society telling you to, oh, it's yourself and yourself only. Don't worry about people. Like, it's okay to just not having it. If you had in the back of your mind to actually build a family, just do it.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid, because the price is priceless.
Exactly. Just don't just
So,
do it
that's
because
it.
you want to enjoy your vacation or your party. That's you feel me? And then yet again, you can choose whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, expect the outcome. With the outcome, but
Yeah,
you're gonna get
dude.
the future. That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
I work with different people. Almost like every week. I've seen old, young, and I know what you're talking about. Like, I go to like houses where like they have no kids, and you see the sadness in
Of
their eyes,
course.
bro.
Yo,
You
dude.
see the sadness, like, and I stopped asking people like, "Oh, do you have any kids?" Because one day I did. She started crying.
Fine. Then the good
She
thing.
said,
is that
"Well, this is the decision that I made, and I have to live with it for the rest of my life. I was too busy working. I work in a corporate world for this and this, such and such time. I have a house, as you can see. I have this, and she ended up with her dog and her cat.
there you go.
And I did not know she didn't have any kids. And it's like, well, my sisters never come see me. My brother never come see me. Everybody
Everybody's
just
busy.
go about their life. I was too busy working, living my life too. And now she ended up with her dog
Yeah.
and her cat.
And 65.
And
you can
I asked her,
barely
well,
move.
do you have any kids? And then she started crying.
Yeah. And then when they're crying, they expect you to feel sorry.
Am
for
I
them.
saying there's going to be a story for everybody who decided not to have kids? No, it's not going to be that story for you. Everybody have their own way. But I'm saying if you had in your mind to build a family and then you hesitating because of fear, don't do it. Don't
There's-
let the fear and don't let society telling you, oh, just take care of yourself. Just worry about yourself. Fuck kids, this and that. Don't let society tell you that. Although it's okay, but do not let society pressure that on you. So that's all I'm saying.
There is as much
Because
pain.
it's lonely out there. When you get there, it's lonely.
There is as much pain. As a matter of fact, I would say there's probably more pain having kids than not having one. And there's as much regrets. All kids doesn't always bring joys.
And I agree
All
with you.
family is not always a good family.
I agree.
Having kids, meaning that you're accepting everything that comes to life. Whatever that kids, whatever the struggles that they come. So if you are not ready to have that responsibility to take care of that kids and to love that kids unconditionally, and you don't have the financial means or whatever it is, because there are people who do have kids that are going through whatever hell that kid bring to their life. And we don't get to dictate how society do.
These
And
are valid reasons. Miss
and
B.
those are, and with the exception that people do at the end of the day sometimes regret not having kids. That is undeniable. But you do also have people who did not.
And I
Bat
agree
an
with
eye
you, Ms. B.
at
Like
all.
the same
Because
way
here's
there's
my thing,
bad
though.
parents, there's bad kids.
Our happiness,
You know?
our fulfillment as a woman is always in question, and we constantly have to justify ourselves and our decision as if motherhood was necessary or is necessary for fulfilling life.
I think it is
And in
necessary
case
for fulfilling
someone
life.
here does not know, it is not the only way.
What
Miss
other
B,
way to
listen.
experience motherhood?
Hold up, hold
Miss
up,
B?
hold
Wait,
up.
No,
hold
I
on,
didn't
no,
say
no.
no. I said motherhood is the only way to a fulfilling life. I didn't say what
Oh,
other way
okay.
that
I got you.
fulfilling life, not the other way.
Okay.
So in case someone know, it's not. So and honestly though, people playing God, telling you what to do, how to do it, what to think, how to take it, to think who you should be, how you should be. Honestly, it's like it's disturbing. It really is. And so in the midst of all the bullshit, be selfish. Be bold and be daring with your choices and whatever it is. Have kids or not have kids.
Listen.
And whatever consequences that come with that, that's up to
Let
you.
me say that before we get to the comments. But let me say that you can't do whatever you want to do. You can't choose to do whatever you want to do. You're going to but if you're capable of having kids and then you're ready to have kids, you're financially stable, and then you choose not to have kids because
That
you
is
want,
their choice.
because Ms. B, can I finish? You choose not to have kids because you want to travel for stupid reasons. To me, that's my opinion. You choose not to have, but get ready for the consequences of the outcome. Or when you're 65 and in the house by yourself, you can barely move, don't expect people to help you out. That's what I'm saying. You
So
can't have
your
all the
men-
money you have. You can't have all the money that you think which is good for you. You can't have all the fortune or whatever you have. If you have no family, you have no kids. For me, that's my opinion. It's selfish, but don't expect people to do certain things for you with your money, because they're gonna take your money. They're not gonna do whatever you expect them to do. That's what I'm saying. Let's get to the comment. So, where is he said it's selfish if one partner wants kids and the other one doesn't want to. That's a good.
It's
That's a good
selfish
one.
for who? The one who doesn't want it, or the one who does?
Is that a question? Where is he? I don't
Yeah,
know.
so I'm guessing what she's trying to say. Let's say, like, you know, if you're a couple and then the guy want to have kids and she doesn't want to have kids, and it's selfish for the guy for wanting kids and pushing the pushing the woman to have kids, and it could be vice versa.
I mean, that's when you have to have a sit down with your partner,
Yeah.
because there's
And that
Miss
should be
B have give a
discussed.
lot of good, exactly. Miss B give a lot of good reasons. You can choose
Yeah,
not
and
to have kids.
I agree with all these reasons. Now, like,
Some of them, not all of them.
Well-
I agree with certain reason that you gave Miss B. Hey, if you cannot take care of your kids, I mean, it's depend. Then again, if you cannot take care of your kids and then you feel like you're not ready mentally to have kids, I don't suggest you to have no kids. But don't wait until the last minute when you can have no kids.
you
no
know,
more,
there's
and then you end up regret the fact that you don't have one. That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't think they
But
can
there's also
risk.
an option to adopt.
It's not the same thing as me.
Yeah, this is also what's wrong with this society today.
There's
They have so
also
many
an
options.
option to adopt kids who are struggling.
But
And
you're not-
honestly,
but you're
even
not
if I
really the
do
parent.
have my own kids, I would like to add one family that I could adopt in addition to my own kids.
You just
Because
said it. If you have one kid of your own, you can't adopt other people.
it
That's
doesn't
okay.
matter. If I don't
But-
have my own, there's absolutely the options that you could love somebody unconditionally and receive that same love back.
It's not.
Don't you think the
unconditionally
reason why you
from
have
that
the
kid.
option to adopt is because somebody decided to pop that
There you
kid?
go. Thank you, P.
What about if
That's
if,
what I'm-
if people decided not to have kids
There you go.
Here's my
at
thing.
all?
Though.
So
Do you know
we
that?
will not be here to be talking crap right now.
But
This
somebody
cell
decided to
phone-
pop that kids that they couldn't take care of,
Well-
or that they weren't ready for,
Well-
that they lived. You know what you
Let-
go through
Leave them with
when
them.
you.
Then. Why you have to adopt them? So just
Yeah.
Do you know the impact in the system of these kids that are not adopted? Do you know what's going on?
What's going on?
Those kids?
What's going
The impact on these kids when they go from system to system, from one home to the home, from the home to the next. Do you understand like the impact it has on the kid on those kids? So what I'm saying
That's not your
that
job.
if someone decided
not
and
your
said,
job.
you know
That's
what,
their business, Miss B.
enough with this kids, she suffers too much, and I wanna give that kids a family, that should be okay. I wanna provide a home to someone else's kid who's suffering that I can't imagine. I wanna provide for this kids. It's fine too.
If you're good like that, why don't you have your own? Why do you have to wait for somebody to be suffering and this is when you decide? You know what? I don't want.
No,
to
you're
be
not
suffering.
waiting. You're not waiting. What goes on to our lives, experiences that we experience, things that moved us, is not always going to be the same for somebody. Like the thought of adopting could come to me at the age of 60, simply because something happened in my life that literally shift my thinking from that thing that I was so sure of. And it could be some kids that just touched my soul. And honestly, whenever that, that experience, that impact comes to your life, it should be okay with
And
whatever
I
decision
wanna say
you
something. I
go
wanna
with
say something.
next.
Miss B.
You don't just go and say, okay, I make my decision and I can't go back from it. If something else happened to their life that changed their mindset, they could go wherever. They could make any other choice, and it should be okay.
As I told you, Miss B, there's a lot of good reason that you give. If that was the reason why you chose not to have kids, that's okay. You can adopt other kids. But if you choose not to have kids because you want to enjoy your vacation, you want to enjoy your party, you want to have your freedom of not having kids, and then later on you're gonna expect somebody to adopt somebody else.
What's wrong with that?
To me, that's selfish.
What's wrong
Like,
with-
why
how is that
why didn't you have
selfish?
your own?
As a
You
matter
choose
of
to
fact,
party. No, Miss
I
B,
have
no,
enough money.
You choose to party. You choose to go to a vacation, and then at the end of the day,
I did,
you're gonna adopt
and
somebody.
I choose to
kids,
work. I choose to work, and I have all of that money, and I said, you know what? I want to
So
adopt
you're
a
just gonna
kid.
buy somebody's
Exactly.
kid.
With
It's
your
not
money?
buying.
Alright,
It's
so-
absolutely not buying. So,
so-
don't put that bad
just-
stain on
just-
it.
You pay money to adopt kids. Okay.
Yeah, just
No,
because
you
have
don't.
But
my thing
depend
is,
if you, unless if you get into a program and you get them for free,
And
even
then
though
another, even
pay
though you have
state-
to have certain
state
money,
taxes.
exactly.
Yeah. So
you have to make certain
but-
amount of money for them to give it to you.
Anyway, so what I want to say, Ms. B, I don't want you to think I do not agree with you. A lot of I would say 90% of what you said I agree with it, because I don't think not everyone are equipped to actually bring a child to this world. Because there is a lot of bad parents. If you're not equipped enough to have a child, it's best for you not to have a kid, because you're not only gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna hurt that child. And you're also gonna hurt society. You know what I'm saying? Because if that kid is not properly educated and properly raised, you're going to hurt society, and you're also going to hurt yourself. That's why we have a lot of craziness going on right now, is because a lot of time our kids that weren't raised properly. Parenting was not a thing for them. And I agree with Ms. B by saying not everybody are called to have kids. We're not saying every woman should go ahead and
that never
pop
came
kids.
out of my mouth.
What is it?
I never said not everybody are called for have kids.
Well,
So that's the choice to not want kids. Is that what you
that's
said?
the
Yeah.
same thing. I mean, I don't have to word it the same way you said it, but that's exactly what you meant,
No, not
isn't it?
really. What you are called for and what your decision that you make is
Well,
two different things.
Called for or decision or decision that you make. When I say called for, it also could be a decision. I make the decision not to say you know what, I don't think I'm that person to have a kid, and I was like, well, I called for not to have a kid. I mean, I think called for not to have kids, it's also a decision. It's a personal decision. Or if it's not a personal decision, it could be naturally you not equipped to have kids for diseases and stuff like that, right? But like I said, I agree to a certain extent with that, because not everyone can have kids, not everyone can raise children, okay? And it's totally fine. But if you can, and you decided not to because you want to say hey, I want to be selfish and enjoy, and also if you have the financial situation, all of the equipments that can actually help you to raise a family, and you decided not to because you don't want to go to the pressure of now your life will be limited, your fun will be limited. Quite frankly, I don't think so. I mean, all you need is a plan. I'm a parent and I still travel. All you need is a plan. I mean, I before that, I was one of the, people that was afraid to I don't need no kids right now, da da da. But all you need is it's be mindful who you choosing to have kids with, and being mindful to be to actually be mindful to know who's gonna be your partner and who you decided to have kids with, because that also will play a role into your everyday life, and also in that and your kid's life. So I think this is the things that people need to worry about, to see who should I have kids with. Is this guy's worth to have kids with, or is this woman worth to have kids with? I think this is what people need to mostly worry about. It's not just because their life might change because they can stop having fun. I don't think you stop having fun when you have kids. You just have to reevaluate your schedule, reevaluate your lifestyle. You can still have fun.
I agree. Anyway, let's finish with the comments. Michelle almost said, I agree with Razy. I don't know what she said, what she was talking, what she meant
It's
by
of
that.
the first sentence.
First
It's
sen- okay,
selfish
okay.
for one partner.
Razy said, I agree with B. Razy said, yes, G, because grandparents live longer with their grandchild, or something like that.
because of their grandchild.
Yeah, that's true. Sweet says, I'm with Bona. Bonali, Miss B.
You skip.
Oh, okay. Razy said, sometimes someone who don't want to have kids sometimes can change their mind later on. Yeah, but I agree with you, Miss
I think
Razy.
once you have the right partner, all your worries will flow out of the window.
I agree with that.
I'll
Not
say
only
that one.
not necessarily, but yeah, I agree with Razy. Michelle, okay. Miranda Ashley said, not everyone is capable of being.
You're skipping a few.
Sweet says, so that means is a must to have kids, G, I didn't say that, sweet. I said, if you're capable of doing it and then you have a plan, why not have it? It's a blessing from God. So there's a lot of people out there who paying a lot of money who cannot have no kids. So if you have the blessing to have a kid, have it. If you have a plan, if you're stable financially, go for it. But don't choose not to have it for stupid reasons. Said that I want to enjoy my vacation, I want to enjoy my youth, and then at the end of the day, when you're 65 by yourself, and then you expect people to do certain things for you. Michelle said that this was a great debate. I guess Miss Michelle went on to close. Miranda actually said, not everyone is capable of being. I can't barely. Okay, whatever.
Not everyone is capable of being a kid, whether biologically, financially, mentally, or emotionally. Some kids suffer because they end up in the hands of people who really didn't want them. That is true.
That's
Miranda, I agree with you. I can be more than agree with you on that.
And then she said, but having kids just so you won't be.
Yeah, but having kids just so you won't be lonely when you older is selfish too, ain't it? I mean, I guess so. I would say so. Anything you have to say about that, G?
What did she say?
But having kids just so you won't be lonely when you're older.
There you go. That's
is
what I said
selfish
since the beginning.
too, ain't it?
Yeah, as Miss B said it at the beginning, though. Everything is selfish. We do everything for ourselves at the end of the day, but is it for a good cause or a bad cause? So
defining good or bad causes, again, it's a personal thing.
It is.
You find that people want to travel, for you is not good enough reason for them.
Miss B,
it is as much as a good reason.
Miss B, that's why I said you can choose to do whatever you want to do. But when you're 65 and the hours by yourself, don't expect people to do certain things for you. Simple as that. You can't choose to do whatever you want to do.
It's the same kids.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing, Miss B. As I told you, that's a bad decision. When you're 65 and you're calling your cousin or your brother, hey, I'm here, I cannot do, you can barely move. Don't expect somebody else's kids to take care of you. That's what I'm saying.
So what are the...
And then Reggie said, I agree with Michelle. See you guys next Sunday, Reggie said. Anyway, last statement, guys. Miss B, your last statement.
It's amazing how the idea of being able to pursue your own desire and identity is only deemed acceptable for as long as it does not disturb someone else's sense of comfort. With that said, whatever choice you make in life, everybody's going to be selfish anyway. Make sure that it's your choice and it's good for you, and as long as it's not hurting anyone else, mentally or physically, their sense of comfort don't matter. And that's my final statement.
Mr. Pat, your last statement.
I think people have different priorities and circumstances not to have kids. And like I was saying, I agree to a lot of Miss B reason why someone would not want to have kids. But what I want to focus on, people who want to have kids and scared and letting society tell them like, yo, it's only yourself, just for them to just be selfish. On that selfishness, I don't agree with it. But if you have financial issues and all the circumstances that actually would want you choose not to have kids, it is fine. I don't think anybody should be judging anybody of not having kids, because as long as it's not that difficult, but it also can be difficult. If you're not equipped mentally, financially to have kids, and also your partner is not about on the same team as you, I don't think this is a decision you should just randomly make just because, oh, I want to fulfill motherhood or I want to fulfill fatherhood, I'm just gonna pop a kid. That's not how it works. Although that this is not something that most of the time you don't plan to have it, and you just ended up having a kid. But once you have the capability to actually shift and actually take care of these kids, I don't see anything wrong with it. So where I want to support whoever is able to have kids and don't want to have kids because they're afraid, I think you should reevaluate that, because having a kid is blessing. You should not see your selfishness reason not to actually bless not only yourself and also bless society with your DNA that you're gonna leave behind, because we're all gonna die one day. So and I'm saying that because you don't want to be 65, 70, and then you living with regrets. This is this is worse than an incurable disease. Regret. So this is where you do not want to end up if you had in mind to have kids and you decided not to because you're afraid, or you actually letting society play with you. So that's about it. So that's what I have for you guys. Hopefully I did not offend hopefully I didn't offend anyone. So but yeah, so as you guys know, my name is Patrick, and I'm always gonna be here with you guys every Sunday, so to share my thoughts and point of view with you guys. So yeah.
There you go, guys. To conclude, guys, with overall what's going on in today's society, some believe, we believe that it's evil to bring a child into today's world, and then Mr. Pat believe that it's kind of selfish to not have kids when you're capable of doing it. So, as for me, I believe for every decision there's a consequence. So get ready for the consequence, for the outcome. So if you choose to have kids, kudos to you. It could be good for you or bad for you. If you choose not to have kids, hey, get ready for the consequences. So when you're 65, as Mr. Pat said, 70, don't expect your money can do everything for you. So having kids is a beautiful thing. It's a blessing from God. So God never gives any bad gifts. So it's a gift from God. So take it if you're capable of having it. So if you can't, hey, that's God's plan. So we will see you guys next Sunday. So as you guys know, my name is Dr. G, and on my right, Mr. Pat. The last word, Mr. Pat.
Last word, guys. Do what's best for you, but also do not forget about why you're here, and also look behind and see who did it. And that can also motivate you to not being selfish in today's society.
Miss B, your last word.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next Sunday.
Hey guys, share the live. Follow the page, IG Podcast, I_podcast, YouTube iPodcast1. And then we will see you guys next Sunday. My name is Dr. G, iPodcast. And we're going to a new perspective.